Right, and here we are with part 2 of my lockdown vlog, I guess. So I basically told you the pre run up to the lockdown, and then now we're in, I just want to tell you and myself what it was like in lockdown. So the first thing that was like the biggest issue for us actually as a community was that Seder was coming, Passover was coming, and everyone was like stressing about not being able to be with family and then not actually being able to be with anybody. It's like that realization, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to travel back to London to see my family. Okay, never mind, I'll just be with my friends. And then gradually it was like, oh, well, we're only allowed to be with 10 people. And then it was like, oh, you're not allowed to be with anybody. So it was really weird. Very strange feeling to like not be able to go home to my family. Obviously I was really looking forward to it, but then obviously the realization dawned on me that in the end they weren't going to be with each other either, and it was just such a process, like all these realizations. Anyway, so this community place called White City Shabbat decided to do these Seder in a box thing where you could just like pay loads of money and they would give you a kosher for Passover meal and a Seder plate and everything you would need to do a Seder at home. So on the day before Pesach starts, before we needed it, we've paid all this money for this box, and it's supposed to be like a 3-course meal or whatever. Anyway, so the boxes like aren't being delivered on time. We have to go and queue for them, but they don't know what time we need to get there. And finally at like 5 o'clock, they're like, okay, come and get your boxes. They finally arrive. So we go, and obviously because they're late, everyone who's ordered a box goes at the same time. It was supposed to be staggered, which would make sense. So we're standing in this line. Everyone's trying to be like distant, like 2 meters from each other. It was the most unhelpful thing in the world for about another hour and a half in this queue. Finally get this box, finally schlep it home, realize, oh my god, what have we paid for? This scraggy bit of chicken, 1 potato each. It did have a plastic Seder plate, but the stuff they provided on it, like no egg, anyway, the whole thing was just like one of these things where you're like, what is going on with the world? And we should have just made it ourselves, but never mind. Anyway, we set up the table, and my family were going to do a Seder Zoom, but Lee's family weren't. And we also had like all our friends here as well. So we decided to do like a friends Seder. So we like logged in with maybe like, 8 to 10 like other houses here, and did the whole Seder each in our homes. And then I went off and did the whole thing again with my family in London, because obviously they're 2 hours behind. So I had 2 Seders in one night. That is a lot of Sedering. And actually my family do second night Seder, so I joined that as well. So I managed to have 3 Seders. It's just not normal. Anyway, so and then lockdown just kind of like went on its way. Lee and I got into a routine of working, but then unfortunately Lee, her company went bankrupt because she worked for a hotel booking website. So she was put on unpaid leave. And then actually my company asked us all to take vacation days over Pesach to help save the company money. So actually Lee and I were off for 2 weeks together. So we got into a really nice routine where we do workouts in the morning. We got into workouts. Oh, I ran out to buy a yoga mat before the shops shut 2 weeks before, because I sensed this was coming. And we were doing Joe Wicks, and then my cousin Debbie, who's a fitness instructor in Tenerife, she was doing all these videos, and we tried yoga, which Lee really liked, I did not like. And we were doing nice things. Oh, and we got really into puzzles. That's been the big craze also of lockdown. Luckily a couple of our friends have some puzzles. It's not really something I've done for 100 years. And well, it was doing the puzzle, and then if you wanted your next puzzle, you had to get in there first, before someone else got the pattern you wanted. And anyway, we did one really big owl puzzle, and we actually still have a camping puzzle that we're working on. 2,000 pieces. This takes a long time. Anyway, so that's been really hilarious. So what else have we been doing? Oh, right. And so obviously in the 2-week break, the weather wasn't amazing, but there were 1 or 2 sunny days. But we weren't allowed outside. You're not allowed more than 100 meters from your house. unless you're going shopping for food or for like medicine. It was really strict here, and there were police around. There were people getting fines. You also have to wear a mask when you're outside and in the shops. Many shops will take your temperature before they let you in. Anyway, so we were like, one of the days we just opened up our big window and lay on the floor, sunbathing on the floor. We really did stay in, like we really didn't see people, we really didn't go out. The only exception really was when it was people's birthdays, because that's just the worst thing, having a birthday in lockdown. So we had we had such a fun March plan. There were like 8 birthdays in March, and we like didn't get to do any of the parties. So we switched it to be like Zoom parties. Luckily, my company paid for a premium Zoom account, so I've had that the whole way through and been able to like set up these links. And yeah, we did a couple of birthday Zooms, tried to make them themed, maybe like dress up or whatever. We played some games, all the usual stuff that everybody's doing. But we were like doing secret missions. Like I baked birthday cakes for people who were like near enough that I felt I could sneak over, leave it outside the door, and then run home before I got in trouble. So that was fun. And then there was, a bit later on, like for Nicola's birthday, like 3 of us accidentally bumped into each other outside her house, which is opposite a supermarket. And we had like balloons and a cake, and we like sung at her and then ran away. Honestly, you feel so rebellious. So yeah, it's been an interesting time during the lockdown. Things changed a bit once I went back to went back to working at my desk in my house. And Lee wasn't, so that was a bit trickier, and we had to like sort of manage, our time. We only have one main room in this apartment. We have our bedrooms, and we have one main room, and we have no outside space. We don't have a roof. Suddenly you can see who has a roof and who doesn't, all the people who are getting tanned, not us. We just have to lie on the floor. But yeah, it's been an interesting time. It's been a really nice time connecting with family and friends at home, who I wouldn't speak to on a video call. I don't know why we never did this before, like my uni girls and just everyone really, and participating in loads of quizzes. I really feel like my general knowledge should have improved during this time because I've been in so many quizzes, and yet I'm pretty sure I've not retained any of it. So yeah, and of course dating. Everyone's asking, are you Zoom dating? Are you Zoom dating? Do you know, I did a couple of Zoom or date calls with a couple of guys here, and I couldn't be bothered, honestly. Like, you're kind of building this, like, we can have an emotional connection, blah blah blah, and not have the physical to worry about. But honestly, like, first of all, people haven't got a lot to say. How's your day been? I went to my desk in the lounge. And just generally, it's just a bit weird, like, to sustain something with somebody when you don't know when you can meet them. So I did a couple, but I couldn't really be bothered, actually. I was more interested in talking to my friends and my family than getting all like, oh, is this boy going to text me? And I don't even know if I really like him or not because I haven't actually met him. Anyway, we'll see. There's a couple of people I spoke to that maybe, like, once things are easing and whatever, that I can pick up with. But anyway, but it's been entertaining at least, and there are still boys out there who are like wanting to like just say, yeah, why don't we just meet up? And we're like, no, definitely no. Anyway, so I think that is probably everything I want to say for this section, because I can see this is now a 9-minute video. God, I don't even know if this is entertaining or interesting. Probably if I thought about this better, I would have structured it better and could have done some actual funny stories. Never mind. Okay. Get ready for part 3.